Okay, hello. Berlin is today on the show. We have the community where we started everything in Berlin in 2019. Today I have with me two incredible ambassadors who have made Berlin's a thriving hub for localization professionals. Michele, the pioneer of the community and a talented amateur dancer, and Magali, a professional translator who joined this journey a couple of years ago. We'll uncover their personal and professional stories, their insights on running a community, and some big ideas for 2025. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. So, first of all, welcome to the show, Magali, Michele.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Michele, take us back to 2019. You were one of the first ambassadors to jump in after LocLunch launched. What made you start the Berlin LocLunch?
I mean, the main reason why I started the LocLunch is you. Because you got in touch with me and you decided actually that I should have been the Berlin ambassador. And that one, honestly, you changed my life, my professional life, not only.
I hope in the best sense.
Exactly. In a good sense, obviously. Yeah. I mean, it's because of you that I started this LocLunch, where I really share a lot of the values that you instilled into this initiative. And honestly, this is really think that is one of the best things that happened in the localization industry in the last decades. And I don't think I'm exaggerating. There are so many hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of people actually making connections, and yeah, just having a better professional life thanks to this LocLunches that you started at the end.
What was your feeling when we met and we discussed, I told you, Michele, you have to run this, right? You were like, shall I not? What made you go over? Did it cost you?
I mean, nothing. For me, it was just like, yeah, let's do that. It was just more like, yeah, this was actually the thing that I was looking forward. So it was the thing I was waiting for.
Wow, wonderful.
I really feel like I didn't doubt it even a minute that if I should do this or not. It was just about how to do this. How can I carve out this the half an hour or 1 hour every month to organize everything? And I didn't have any doubt that I wanted to do this. I'm to some extent a little imposter syndrome as well about this, because I feel like there's so many times, and maybe Magali, this happens to you as well, that people actually refers to you as a LocLunch ambassador, the one who invented the LocLunch. I say, no, wait, we are not the ones who invented the LocLunch. This is John.
But you almost were. Yeah, no, it's wonderful, and I think I had this wonderful feeling that you are the right person for Berlin, and you did it for the last. It's now 2025, 2024, almost 2025. So it's almost 6 years. You're running LocLunch in Berlin. The LocLunch Berlin events are huge, but this is also because of Magali. So let me switch.
Yeah,
let me switch to you, Magali. You joined Michele a little later. Tell us about your first LocLunch. What made you say, I want to be part of that?
My first LocLunch was right before the pandemic with Michele as host. And I remember feeling very welcome because of the way Michele had this LocLunch. And I also remember that we were quite big then already. We were about, I don't know, I think 25, 30 people. And I met so many interesting people and people from different roles this day that later on, when the pandemic was in full flow and I was desperate for contacts with other professionals, I had one of the first online LocLunches then, and that's how I started, and that's how I joined Michele.
It's wonderful, and both of you, you have really created a wonderful environment. Tell us a little bit. Tell our audience a little bit. How is LocLunch Berlin, and why is it so special?
It's the best.
It's
Easy.
Obviously, yeah. I would say that the lock they reflect the personality of the creator. And John, I'm sorry, but I'm reflecting this to you now. I'm sending back this to you, and you are the creator. So we're just exactly we're just being infected with your vibe to some extent, and we actually just giving forward, so giving to other people this vibe that we receive from you, basically this lock love, if you want to. We're just passing it over to other people.
I think Yeah, sorry.
Go on, Magali, go on.
I think one of the differences maybe between Berlin and other cities, at least in Germany, is that Berlin is already that cosmopolitan, and this is reflected in the LocLunches we have. We have people from, sometimes people just passing through Berlin. We have people from all over the world who came to live in Berlin, and this is makes it very interesting and so different every time.
Yeah.
Yes, may I go first?
Go on.
I have I was thinking about what Michele said before about imposter syndrome. I have imposter syndrome oftentimes when people say, when they come to me and ask me for, I don't know, a reference or something, saying, I know that you are very well connected in the industry. And in the beginning, I used to feel like an imposter because I thought, oh, well, no, but actually I am, because, and mainly because of LocLunch. Because LocLunch has made me meet people in different roles. We have many different roles at each LocLunch. We have freelancers, of course, but we also have CEOs, salespersons, salespeople, all kinds of roles. For instance, by visiting online LocLunches in other countries, I also have broadened my network there. So this is one thing that I would recommend anybody, really, especially in our industry, freelancers as well as others, because it helps you get connected globally.
Can I absolutely agree with this. Honestly, LocLunches is I just love the concept, and I just love the fact that you can have a lot of fun while at the same time connecting with probably the most amazing people in across the industries, actually, because the translation localization people are actually in my opinion, the most fun people to talk to. And yeah, and it's incredible to see how many people actually see the value of this LocLunches. Even sometimes, sometimes you can have 1.5 hours of LocLunch of speaking about random stuff, about your holidays, about your family, about whatever. But still, you're connected with someone. You're connected with someone within the industry, and you, at some point, whenever you get in touch with this person for any reason, probably maybe because you're looking for a new job, or maybe because you know that someone is looking for this, someone who can provide this kind of services, or someone who can do this kind of work. It's like it's totally another type of connection. I feel like, I don't know, thanks to the LocLunches, I feel like I'm, regardless of where I am, I feel like home, because I know that if I meet localization people from the localization industry, I mean, I know that they have the same vibe and they are enthusiastic just as we are about the industry.
And if I can add something, in my sense, what makes LocLunch special is that it's networking as it should be. Oftentimes you have this kind of networking events where people you don't know just come up to you and give you their card, and this still exists. And I always think, why? What am I going to do with this card? I don't know you. And LocLunch does the opposite. You meet people for a lunch, so there's no pressure. There are no cards. You just meet people for lunch, and then that's how real networking is actually done. You get to know them, and over time you have trust installed, and this is real networking. And well, LocLunch makes this very easy.
Should I start, Magali?
Yes, please.
Okay, for me, obviously, being a headhunter is whenever I see, and this is actually completely against my own interest as a professional recruiter. When I see people connecting on a LocLunches, employer and employee, and people maybe telling me a few weeks later or months later, telling me, "Hey, I got this job because you made the connection with it thanks to the LocLunch." And this is where I see actually, wow, this is a powerful platform. There's actually one of the biggest. It's obviously not the only huge value of the LocLunch, but it's one of the biggest, the most wonderful thing.
Okay, so my wow moment in LocLunch history was when, I think it was in 22, when LocWorld was in Berlin, and Jan suggested having a mega LocLunch after LocWorld, inviting all the people from LocWorld to join us. So we were expecting about, well, Jan was expecting 100 to 200 people. We could not make any reservation anywhere because LocLunch is what it is. So, and anyway, making a reservation for that many people would have been difficult. So Jan suggested just seeking out a beer garden, which is rather big, having LocLunch there. And I was like, it's never going to work. We're never going to have room for 100, 200 people. What are we going to do? It's going to be awful. Jan reassured me though, and I started believing that it could be possible. But then when it actually happened, when in the evening of this mega log lunch, I saw literally hundreds of people streaming to this beer garden, and it all turned out so beautifully. It all worked perfectly. That was my wow moment. And then I thought, wow, how did he do this? And I'm trying to have a little bit of this feeling of we can do anything we want in my professional life as often as I can. Really helps me sometimes.
So let's go for the future. And what do you see coming up in 2020? So we have two different professionals here, our two LocLunch ambassadors. Magali, a professional translator, and Michele as a partner of one of the biggest headhunter recruitment talent acquisition companies in our industry. So what do you see, guys? What do you see coming up in 2025 as a translator for translators and you as for the industry, for professionals in the industry?
Well, I'll start. Obviously, no one knows really what's coming, especially in this time. No one knows what profiles will be needed tomorrow, etc. Especially we freelance translators, but many others as well. And I think that actually LocLunch will be very helpful for this, for me personally, because since we meet that many different people from the industry, this really helps to understand where this is going and what kind of skills will be needed. Because what I obviously see for us translators is that we need to skill up, to upskill. I don't know how you say that, to learn a lot of new things and always stay on top, which is not easy. But yeah, I think I'm not sure actually if translators will still be around. I know that this is very controversial and I'm going to probably get a lot of negative messages for this, but I'm not sure right now. I used to be sure that we would still be around. Now I'm not so sure anymore because I know that with machine translation and AI together, you can do really, really amazing things and amazing quality. So yeah.
Where do you
Not
see
sure what's
your
coming.
future? What do you see as an exit strategy? As a, hey, this is AI, where do you see yourself in a year? I know this is a stupid question. It should be coming from a recruiter, maybe, or employer. But, I think this question, I mean, everybody has to ask this question right now. Not only us in the language industry, but everywhere where we see AI is taking charge, taking control. Where do you see yourself as a translator maybe in a year? What do you do today to prepare for
Well, on the one hand, I have a specialization SEO translation, which is not that easy to replace, which I chose on purpose, also because I like it, but also on purpose, of course. And the other thing is, I do think that our skills as translators in assessing language and translation quality will very much be needed. So I think what we will need, and where I personally see myself, hope it will work out, is assessing quality and consulting companies on how to set up processes in order to obtain this quality. And this is where I see myself, I'm not sure in a year, but maybe two. But the other thing is the way to get there. And this is where I still have to see how this is. What will it be?
We have an expert on the show. Michele, what is your take on the future of talent?
Literally, I would like to dodge this question as long as I can, because honestly, I don't have a proper answer for this. I see the translation industry and it's not only the translation industry, but many other industries being disrupted by this, and everything is changing so quickly, which is really hard to keep the pace of it. Honestly, the only thing that we can do, I see not only translators, but even recruiters, even my job, even salespeople, we will be more like machine operators rather than people working with human generated content or human content, or people adding a touch of humanness to some extent. I think it's key to learn how to use and how to prompt, for example. First, because they will save you hours and hours per week. So really talking about halving the amount of work you do every week if you learn how to prompt in the correct way to have the right results. I would like to give them a brighter and positive outlook for everyone who is passionate about translation and the language and so on. But honestly, I see that we are even translators at the moment. That we are basically a lot. It's about on how to prompt, how to use system, how to use tools, and it's just a matter of time until these machines, until the are going to be able to generate prompt themselves. So at that point, we need to figure out something else. So the industry is changing so quickly that it's really hard to keep the overview of it and to understand where everything is going. Yeah, I understand that it's not a very clear answer and very to the point answer, but it is actually how do I feel at this moment? Is like whenever I feel like I understood something, the complete landscape is changing again.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
unlimited possibilities.
Yeah, absolutely. I live in Wedding, which is an area which is in the northwest of Berlin, and I love this part of the city. It's pure, and it's changing a lot right now. Exactly. There is a lot of Chinese food, a lot of Turkish food, a lot of Italian food, and so on. It's amazing. It's the essence of the city, basically.
Karee 36. Traditional
Yeah.
Bratwurst. Typical German sausage. The best one there is in town. Karee 36. Really, it's true.
Yeah.
So, dancing or translation, what's more difficult to master? Michele?
Dancing, 100%.
Dancing. Magali, would you agree?
Yes. Depends on the dancing, though.
So, if you want to have a job which is really hard to crack for AI, then
By the way,
dancing.
maybe I should add that I'm not a professional translator, so I actually I don't know exactly how difficult it is.
It's true. It's true. So maybe this was more a question for
everyone who is
Magali.
looking- Exactly. Yeah.
One word to describe LocLunch.
Fun.
Happy.
Fun, Magali, Michele?
Happy.
Happy. Fantastic. Thank you, Michele, Magali, for sharing your inspiring journey and experience with us today. If you're watching this and you have never thought about starting a LocLunch in your town, now is the time. Head to loclunch.net, reach out to us, connect with Michele and Magali, and let's keep building this amazing community together. See you at next LocLunch Espresso, wherever you are on a LocLunch in Berlin. Thanks a lot, Michele, Magali, for being on the show today.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.